You are with the big story here, and this is what we're discussing in detail. The prices of tomatoes and onions unprecedentedly high this time of the year, skyrocketing. And why is that? Retail price of tomato 60 rupees per kilo in Navi Mumbai, 50 to 70 rupees per kilo in Delhi. Same goes for onions. We're looking at onions being sold at 60 rupees per kilo in the Delhi NCR region. Now, usually the average cost of these vegetables is about 2 to 20 to 25 rupees per kilo. But what's shocking here is that there's the price of garlic as well that has shot up to 300 rupees per kilo, which costed earlier 200 rupees per kilo. Prices are expected to stay this high through the festive season till the first week of November. Let's get in more details. Our Deputy News Editor Mayuresh getting us those inputs here. Mayuresh, is this just unseasonal rains, delayed monsoon, which is causing this, or is something more happening here in the build up to the elections?
Certainly, rains is one of the reasons, because as we've seen that in Nasik area, even in western Maharashtra, we saw unprecedented rains, and that has affected the crop. But as we have been given to understand that the Kharif crop, which is yet to reach market, because it was expected that before Diwali it will come, but it has not arrived. So that's why there is a acute shortage of all these vegetables in APMC market, which the effect which we can see. The prices have gone up. We have a local vendor, will go across to him, will ask him कितना फर्क पड़ा है ये प्याज के दामों में पिछले 2 से 3 दिनों में।
इतने 8 दिन में प्याज में कम से कम किलो के पीछे 8 से 10 रुपए का फर्क पड़ गया।
और क्या कारण बताया जा रहा है? जब आप एपीएमसी से माल खरीदते हैं तो क्या कारण बताया जा रहा है?
कारण क्या है, बारिश की वजह से जो फसल है वो यहाँ तक पूरा पहुँच नहीं पा रहा है, और अभी जो नया प्याज जो है वो निकलने का समय आ गया, लेकिन बारिश के कारण वो फसल जैसा चाहिए वैसा हो नहीं रहा है।
तो जब ये कीमतें बढ़ी है और जब आप ग्राहकों को बताते हैं आपके कि कीमतें बढ़ गई है, तो उनका रिस्पांस कैसे रहता है? लोग कम क्वांटिटी ले रहे हैं या जैसे है वैसे ही कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं?
किलो चाहिए वो काम चलाने के लिए पाव किलो आधा किलो लेके अपना काम गुजारा कर लेते हैं। अभी होटल लाइन में भी कम से कम जिसको समझो रोज का 20 किलो कांदा 10 किलो कांदा जाता था, उन लोग 2 किलो 5 किलो लेके अपना काम चला लेते हैं।
So that's what we heard from this local vendor. He was telling us that how the consumption of people, even the commercial line people, that is the hoteliers, have also gone down.
All right, stay with us, Mayuresh, please. Let's also get in how this is impacting prices in other cities as well. We're looking at the same here in the national capital in Delhi. Alok, those are the details. They're coming in as far as Mumbai and Maharashtra is concerned. But this is undoubtedly going to have a pan-India impact, specifically if you're talking about onions, the largest production which comes in from Maharashtra, which comes in from Nasik.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, if you talk particularly about the national capital, right now I'm in Okhla Mandi, that is in South Delhi, and this is very prominent mandi from where across the national capital people people come and just buy the vegetables. In fact, right now I'm in some of the people. I'm standing with some of the sir. कितना आप लोग का impact पड़ा है? इतना सब्जियों का दाम जो बढ़ा है, खास तौर पे टमाटर और प्याज की
डबल हो गया सर।
डबल हो गया।
हाँ, जैसे हमारे पहले 20 रुपए किलो प्याज लेके जाते थे और टमाटर 20 रुपए 22 रुपए किलो लेके जाते थे, जो अब 50 रुपए 40 रुपए किलो लेके जाना पड़ रहा है।
अच्छा।
तो हमारी कॉस्ट ऐसे ही बढ़ गई कि हमने बच्चों से 2600 रुपए लेते हैं पूरे महीने का।
अच्छा।
जो हमारी कॉस्ट आज की 3000 से ऊपर पड़ी एक बच्चे के खर्चा।
अच्छा, तो मतलब आप अपने हॉस्टल के लिए लेकर के जा रहे हैं?
हॉस्टल के लिए जा रहे हैं हम। ये फिरजी का जो है हॉस्टल है, तो उसके लिए हम लोग उसके अंदर में बच्चे रहते हैं, 200 बच्चे हमारे।
तो आप यहाँ पर आते हैं काफी थोड़ा ज्यादा क्वांटिटी में लेकर के जाते हैं?
हम जैसे प्याज का आपको 200 बोरी प्याज का आलू का लेके जाते हैं।
और अभी कितने में लेके जा रहे हैं?
नहीं, जो टोटल क्वांटिटी हमने हर तीसरे दिन लेके जाते हैं।
तो अभी आपको कितना इफेक्ट पड़ रहा है, मतलब कितना ज्यादा, जैसे आपने कहा डबल का लेकर?
हमने अभी टोटल हमारी पहले सब्जी आपको 3 दिन की 10,000 तक हो जाती थी, लगभग तक पहुंच रही है।
तो मतलब पूरी तरह से इफेक्ट है प्याज का और टमाटर, क्योंकि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट ग्रेडिएंट है।
अभी मैं आलू की रेट अभी 650 रुपये तक हो गई थी। अभी जो 50 किलो का आलू मिलती है, जो बम्पर आलू हम लोग ले जाते हैं, अभी वो आलू की आज की रेट में हमें 450 रुपये मिल रही है, जो पहले हम हाँ जी।
और साथ साथ अब कहा जाता है कि गार्लिक यानी कि लहसुन का भी काफी ज्यादा,
लहसुन का भी है 180 रुपये से 200 रुपये तक किलो लहसुन का भी है, जो पहले 100 रुपये में मिल जाती थी पहले हम लोग। अब
इनफैक्ट other vegetables, the prices of other vegetables are also high in the national capital,
Okay.
just because of the rain, as Mayuresh was telling
Right.
us. Because in Delhi, these vegetables comes from Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, as well as Karnataka also. But because of the rain, these vegetables
Right.
are not able to reach here, and that is why it's impacting the kitchen of the common man.
All right. Let's get in further inputs as far as the supply of onions here is concerned, and especially the center of that, which is Maharashtra for a major part of the country here. Mayuresh, on how this is being viewed as a more complicated situation, not just as simple as unseasonal rains or delayed monsoons here having caused this. There is a ban on the export of onions here as well. A certain section of the farmers have been protesting against that. There is the APMC issue here on this here as well. Is there a sense that there are several factors here leading to this hike in price, several that perhaps are in the hands of the government to control perhaps?
Technically, government should control it, and government should have control over APMC market, because if you see the connection that the farmer directly comes to the APMC market, he sells his product there, he sells his onion or the tomatoes there, and after that it gets distributed via APMC. But it seems that the government has got no control over APMC market. If you talk about the APMC markets in Maharashtra, it is ruled by NCP. The NCP has very much stronghold on the APMC markets. Second thing, rain is there, but as I said about the Rabi crop, the Rabi crop have been already consumed by the market, and they were expecting that the Kharif crop will come just before the Diwali. But now, due to this rain, due to the transport issues, and even the government has banned of storing the onions for the long time. So that's why the Kharif crop, which they were expecting, it will come after the Diwali. So that's why there is a shortage of vegetables, at least at APMC market level, and which is getting affected to the local market, and that's why there is a price hike.
Yes, please stay with us. We're getting in more voices here on this. We have Ms. Sancheta Gajapati Raju of the BJP. Sancheta, thanks for being with us here. This is a case which is the need of the hour for the government to step in here on this. These are vegetables, specifically onions, that should just be selling for 20 to 25 rupees per kilo. But now, through the festive season till the first week of November, this is going to be about 60 to 70 rupees per kilo.
The government, I agree with you, the prices have gone up. The central government is doing whatever it can within its capacity. I'll tell you a couple of the measures that have already been taken. As we're all aware, on the 30th of September, the export of onions has already been banned. The government has also released a buffer stock of over 18,000 tons of onions in various markets across the country, wherever the prices have gone up significantly. There has been disruption because of rain and seasonal all over. Now, when you talk about tomatoes, in many of the government outlets, like for example in Delhi, in Madhya Pradesh outlets, prices have already come. Hopefully by next week, the prices will come down by another 5%. I agree with you that the prices have gone up, but there are some of these causes which are outside the control of everybody else. We hope that the respective state governments will also rise to the occasion. We shouldn't play politics when it comes to a person's kitchen, because this is about daily survival, and I hope that everybody will rise to the occasion and we will work together. There is no politics here over onions and tomatoes.
Stay with us there. That's a fair view to have here, Sancheta. As our deputy news editor Mayuresh has been getting us those inputs here. Mayuresh, this is also election season. There is an allegation, as you stated, that the APMC, largely ruled by the NCP, is wanting to create this anti-government crisis through the prices of onions. Is that an extreme view to have? There have been certain voices saying this. To what extent could it be true on ground?
See, it is, some people are saying that, some people are leveling that kind of allegation against NCP, a party who's holding these kind of APMC markets, and they have a strong hold of APMC markets. But in this such scenario, as our expert also advised, that a state government should come into the play. State government should take control of all these things, and they should regulate the prices, because after all, this is a question of everyone's kitchen. And you can see that even it is getting affected the people's daily budget. If the prices have gone up by 5 to 10 rupees, you can imagine the budget of every household has gone up to like 1,000 rupees. It has been exceeded. So certainly it is affecting the common man's daily budget, and that's why it is government should basically come into this, and government should regulate or at least interfere in this matter and try to regulate these prices.
Let's also get in senior economist Mr. Mohan Guruswamy with us over the phone line. Mr. Guruswamy, how are you viewing this development or viewing this crisis for many? If you have a basic ingredient such as onions selling at this particular price, do you feel that because there is a long-term storage ban, there are several farmers who are also not being able to sell the stored crop here, which is why we're seeing this?
Partly due to that, partly there is a bit of manipulation of the market which takes place almost every year, because there are times when onions sold for 2 rupees a kilo in this year itself, and at that time nobody compensated for the farmer, and it was not an issue. This is what rattles the market, rankles with farmers, that when prices fall, the state is not energized about it at all. When prices rise and urban consumers and middle-class consumers start making a noise, then the governments are rattled. They want to import and they put restrictions on export. So I think
Right.
far too much of government interference in this business, and it should stop and let the market regulate itself to a large extent as far as possible.
Yes, please stay with us. Our correspondent Alok also has been getting us further inputs here. Alok, this is also a scenario here where the price hike, once again, this is not coming into a benefit to farmers, which is why the farmers today are crying foul. This is a price hike which is largely benefiting the traders.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, those who are having the stock, in fact the small traders told us in the morning that they are sitting with those with those stored stock, and they are not releasing that, and that is why one of the other reasons of increasing the rate of the tomatoes as well as the onion in the national capital. And in fact, sir, if you remember that just 3 weeks ago, when the onion price was high in the national capital, Delhi government came, and they, in fact, the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal announced to give the supply from the government store on rupees just 23 per kg, and in fact they did that. But now the situation is again become grim, and now the government has to take the cognizance of that. And in fact, not only the onion, now this time the prices of tomatoes also gone up, and not only that, the prices of garlic has also gone up. It has reached up to rupees 200 in Delhi. So now the government, it's the time for the government to take the cognizance, and they should come up with some new ideas so that the people who are basically suffering from this price rise, they should not suffer. And yes, definitely it's a festival season, so it is now going to affect everybody's kitchen, whether it's whether it's Delhi or the Bombay.
Right, Sancheta, would you like to respond to this? That as far as Maharashtra is concerned, and the APMC, which is the Agriculture Produce Market Committee, largely under control, ruled by the opposition, the NCP, in this. If there is a measure in which the state government of Maharashtra can step in and resolve this, should be doing that this time.
You're very interesting you say that. I mean, like you said, election season is around the corner. Whatever is in the control hands of the state, they are doing that. But unfortunately, there are multiple agencies involved in the regulation and the supply of essential items, including onions, potatoes, and garlic and other vegetables, not only this. And it's very unfortunate that they're trying to play politics. They don't have any real issues. One of the previous correctly pointed out, and this year itself, onions is standing at 2.
Okay. Sancheta, we apologize for that bad audio connect. We're going to be reconnecting with you on that in just a bit. We also have Mr. Anupam of Swaraj India with us over the phone line. Thanks for being with us, Anupam. In your view, what's causing this? Is this an argument largely with respect to unseasonal rains, delayed monsoons, or there's more to this? This is a time wherein which you have the government which could step in here and bring in that relief.
Of course, the government can easily step in and bring in the relief if it steps in the right manner instead of putting ban on exports. And we already have this scheme of price stabilization. And when it comes to onions, yes. We know that this phase almost comes every year, which is not generally longer than 2 to 3 weeks. And if at all this price stabilization thing is implemented, it will cost somewhere around 100 to 150 crores to the government, but it will ensure that the price for the consumers is contained, but at the same time, the farmers are also not put under any stress. Apart from that thing, what we have been witness to in our country is that when farmers have to sell their produce, let's say, for example, onions at rupees 1 per kg, it is not that big an issue. The issue, unfortunately, policy making largely is guided by consumer market. So there is this aspect too, and then the government responds in a way which ultimately, in both ways, goes on to hamper the farmers.
But Anupam, do you think that the government should be revisiting the holding limit, because the farmers have been protesting against this? There's a long-term storage ban here, because of which they're not being able to sell a major part of the produce. The government would rather need to revisit that?
Should revisit the holding limit as well as the ban it has put on exports. And apart from onion, I would actually like to take your attention towards one thing. Prime Minister Modi, we all remember, immediately before the Lok Sabha elections, made this very articulative thing that farmers are his top priority, where top meant tomato, onion, and potato. We all remember. And today, 1 year after that beautiful statement, we see that tomato farmers, onion farmers, and potato farmers.
Let me get in a farmer's voice here on this. It's important that we hear from not just the affected party being the consumers, but the farmers as well, because this is a time wherein which we know that the traders are benefiting most, neither the farmers here. We have Mr. Yogesh Pandey, who's of the Swabhimani Shetkari Sangathan of the Farmers Union, here with us. Mr. Pandey, in your view, at this time of the year, to blame these skyrocketing prices on only untimely, unseasonal rains, is that fair?
Rightly, first thing, the reason is, if you recall, 6 months back, what was the price of tomato? Tomato was hardly fetching 5 to 10 rupees kg. And same was with the onions also. So yes. This is one sort of a cyclic, and these are very short-term prices, and most important, these prices are not being earned by farmers. Make it very, very clear, because this is a supply disruption, and disadvantage is taken by a handful of traders. They are pushing up prices and creating artificial shortages. Because I just checked with some farmers in this western region, which is one of the largest bowl of tomato. So farmers are not getting even 20 rupees per kg right now. Also 25 to second quality and good quality, hardly 28 to 30 rupees they have earned, and that too in last 2 days only. And if you recall, the prices are only 15 rupees kg, 20 rupees kg 2 weeks back. So this is a very short-term scenario. Second thing, this crop is for it takes 2 months to grow. So within 2-3 months we will have a huge supply, and again prices will cool down. So it's one sort of cyclical due to rain, and had some traders pulling up prices and taking undue advantage of the supply disruptions because the transportation and all of this, and obviously the crop is damaged. That is the reality. So this is very short-term phenomena. But to market, immediately to ban exports because what happens, everything get collapsed. It is not one day. This
But
thing.
Mr. Pandey, if it is short term here, why are there certain farmers, why are there smaller groups of farmers joining hands and protesting, saying that we are against the holding limit, we are against the export ban? If this is short term, why would you think farmers would be reacting in this stronger manner?
What I'm saying the price, because government should not immediately put these bans, because that is what farmers are asking for. You can't immediately put export ban and putting the stock limit and all other restrictions, because to create entire system it takes time, months and years to create a supply chain system, and suddenly government immediately breaks it down, and the farmers are harassed, and so it is creating problem. So this issue hardly it will take 1 month maximum to restore. And the government should rather see that what is the price farmers are getting. Not to rather blaming the farmers. Just keeping like farmers are being again targeted, like the prices have risen, but it is not the farmers who are getting this price. This is very, very important. And these prices are very.
That's right. No one's targeting the farmers here. Mr. Mohan Guruswamy, if you heard that this is time that the government to step in. You said that there needs to be minimum interference by the government, but the system that has been working so far, it seems that the government would be required to step in at this point.
Well, the farmers have no obligation to give his consumer agro products at the lowest price. The farmer also is in a business; he has to make money. And you can say that the market has been manipulated. That is because of the imperfections of the system. But every time prices go up, the farmer doesn't benefit is also wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The farmer does benefit by it.
Yes.
Middleman doesn't take everything. So I think interference of the government should be minimal. This whole business of wanting to import onions now, you're importing a few $1 million worth of onions from Afghanistan and other countries. And then capping exports. Wherever farmer gets the best price, you should allow it to happen and let the prices rise. If the consumer pays a little more, after all the goods, manufactured goods which go from the urban economy, the farmer pays market prices. Why don't consumers also? Why aren't they ready to pay market prices? So this price regulation cannot be.
We'll have to leave it at that. We appreciate all the voices who have spoken to us here on this and our team of correspondents here as well. As we stated, this is not as simple as it seems, being a case of just unseasonal rains or delayed monsoons. This is a case of how markets are being ruled by political parties. If you have the APMC under the NCP, the government would need to step in and resolve that crisis and revisit measures that they have taken. If there is a long-term holding limit, if there is a cap on exports or a ban on exports currently, how it's impacting the consumer and the farmers both would need to be taken into account. This is a price hike which is going to be lasting through the month. Perhaps the government to step in sooner than expected. Thanks for being with us.